Alright, well, hello there, fellow people of the interwebs. How you doing? It is I, your host, Larry Geckert, coming at you again, but this time, as you can see, I'm coming from my slightly festive living room. I am doused in Christmas lights. I got my reindeer sitting at my side here with my little Christmas throw. I got my colors and my hat on, and my tree is in frame, hopefully, if I've done that right. So let's just cut right to the chase. It is December 18th, 2015, and this YouTube video, as most probably are coming out this time of year, is about Christmas. So, what is Christmas? Well, I was just kind of doing some quick research on my phone here to make sure that I was properly informed of what I am about to tell you guys. So let me start off by saying that my information is not entirely accurate, and some of what I am about to say is meant to be very satirical and fictitious, so if you can't take a joke, then you might want to go ahead and just stop watching this video and go find something else to do. I'll bet you there's probably something a lot more interesting than watching me for a couple minutes on the internet. But what is Christmas? Well, Christmas is traditionally a pagan holiday, having absolutely nothing to do with the Christian religion. Now, I just looked it up. Pagan or paganism is sort of like, I guess it's a derogatory term used by the Christians to describe another type of religion. The original pagan holiday is meant to have absolutely nothing to do with Jesus Christ. It is simply meant to celebrate the god of winter, I believe, and his name is Sol Invictus, and it is to celebrate the beginning and the coming of the winter season that we are about to ensue. But seeing as how we live out here in the Big O, right off one of the Great Lakes, we don't exactly get much of a winter here, insert joke. So you celebrate the bringing or the beginning or coming of the winter season, and that is pretty much where the pine tree comes from, and Christmas wreaths and poinsettias and all that stuff. So then you think, well, what does Jesus Christ have to do with it? What does Santa Claus have to do with it? Where does all this stuff come from? Well, Jesus Christ was actually born sometime in the middle of spring. It just so happens that the Christians, the original people who decided to write the Bible and all that stuff, decided, just for shits and giggles, you know what, let's go ahead and make his birthday December 25th, because who cares? No one's going to actually pay attention to this, right? Well, somebody did. So they just went into his medical records and changed his birthday, and supposedly this is the day that he was born. He was born to Mary and Joseph, but he is also the Son of God, so either Joe and God are exactly the same person, or Mary's basically been sleeping around. This is the part where I say, if you can't take a joke, go watch something else. So Jesus was born in a tiny little tool shed surrounded by a bunch of animals, some lawn care equipment, and then a big star shines in the sky, and some 3 wise men with degrees from DeVry University show up, and they bring gifts. And everybody just kind of hangs out and says, hey, Jesus was born. This is kind of cool. Let's celebrate. Let's have a drink. Now, Santa Claus comes from the St. Nicholas, who was an actual saint priest, I guess, who would walk around the
local town. He would wear a red robe, probably have a nice big like walking stick or something, and he would just drop little handmade gifts off to the local kids. And it eventually got to the point where the little kids got smart and they would stick their shoe outside their door. So if any of you have ever taken a Sunday school class, that's what I remember doing, at least, where they would give us like tin foil or a piece of paper or something, and they'd say, fold it up and crinkle it up to look like a shoe and stick it outside the door, and like 10 minutes later we'd open up the door and be like, oh, I got some stuff. So that's kind of cool. So it's kind of like the game of telephone, you know. You start off with one thing and you pass it down the line, and eventually it becomes something completely different at the end. So over time, this Saint Nicholas, instead of being either a saint or a priest who would walk around the local town, turns into an average middle-aged white guy with a fat belly that shakes like a bowl full of jelly and rosy cheeks and a white beard, known as Santa Claus, who delivers gifts all around the world in one night to everybody that's been good. He is a middle-aged, slightly overweight, usually white guy, usually depicted as a white guy with a beard. He's very jolly. He knows the name of everybody in the world. He knows if you've been good or bad, which is kind of creepy when you think about it, that some guy's watching you right now, watching every little thing that you do. He's got a wife, Mrs. Claus. She has this sort of obsession, passion with baking, and he's sort of like the adopted father to a bunch of elves. It's kind of like, Willy Wonka and the Oompa Loompas. He was just kind of traveling around one day and found a bunch of elves and said, hey, you know what, if you guys come work for me and make a bunch of toys, I'll make sure you get a great dental plan, get it? And I'll give you some pointy shoes and some matching uniforms, and you can just make toys for me all year long, and I'll pay you, and I'll give you a roof over your head, yada, yada, yada. So they agreed, and that's how that worked. So, for one night out of the year, he gets into a sleigh because, how else are you going to get around? Unless, of course, you're listening to the song Santa's Gonna Come in a Pickup Truck by Alan Jackson, in which case he's going to come in a pickup truck. But he travels around in a sleigh pulled by 8 reindeer, and then all of a sudden this 9th reindeer shows up out of nowhere, and everybody goes, I don't know what's up with this guy, but the red nose, somebody's been hitting the bottle. I don't think he should be flying with us, let alone leading the damn sleigh. So Santa travels around one night, the night of the 24th, into the morning of the 25th, and delivers gifts. He either comes down the chimney, or through your front door, or in your bedroom window, however he does it, and he puts gifts under the tree. So, I guess the big question is, why? Why do we do this? Why do we set up a tree? Why do we pay an extensive amount on our electricity bills for Christmas lights and lasers and smoke machines and projectors? And why do we roast chestnuts on a fireplace or spend thousands of dollars on gifts for people? Why do we, get fancy earrings and get all dressed up to have eggnog and Jolly Traveler's Christmas beer, or maybe you prefer a Leinenkugel's cranberry ginger shandy, which is actually not that bad. I should go get some right now. Why do we do all this for 1 month out of the year? What's the point? Is it pointless? No, it's not. It's not pointless at all. It actually makes perfect sense when you think about it. It's
steeped in tradition, but it's because it's the right thing to do. It's perfectly okay to go out of your way, to be merry, be jolly, be nice to whoever, being nice to your coworkers, your friends, your family. You know, maybe you've got that friend who lives a couple streets over who likes Budweiser and Jack Fire. Maybe you're going to show up at his house one day and say, hey, let's drink. Or, you know, maybe you got that one friend that you had a disagreement with a little while back over something that really shouldn't have mattered or really shouldn't have made a difference, and maybe you decide to put it all aside once and for all and say, you know what, I'm sorry, it shouldn't have happened. It's totally my fault and I'm willing to take full responsibility for it. So let's forgive and forget. Or maybe you've got that boss who's really, really nice to you, and maybe you decide to burn him a CD or a DVD or something to show your appreciation. Or maybe you've got, you know, parents who really care a hell of a lot about you. Or maybe you just decide, you know, I'm a dog. Maybe today is the day where I don't bite the mailman and I just decide to be nice. That's what Christmas is. It's the season of giving. Even though it really shouldn't be a season, it should be just, you know, you should be doing that any day of the year, really. I've got a whole bunch of, you know, friends on Facebook that say just that. They say, you know, why should giving and caring be limited to one day out of the year? And they're not wrong, but it almost kind of does get to that point where you do need that push to sit there and say, here's that thing that you've always wanted. I know you wanted it, and now I've actually got the time and the excuse to be able to give it to you. So I guess my point is to take that time. Take that little bit of time that you have before or after work. Take a day off. Take a couple days off and spend it with your family. Spend it with your friends, those people that you really just truly care about, that mean a whole heck of a lot about you. Send a Snapchat, send a tweet, send a Facebook post or a text or a phone call or a voicemail or an email. Or, you know, like I said, drive down the street if you have a friend that lives close by. You know, make amends. This is a very special time of year that means a lot to people, especially to those who can't always afford it or to be a part of it just because they have, I don't know, diseases, illnesses, they're cooped up in a hospital, or they're homeless, or their family may be all screwed up or something. So at least for me, you know, and I would hope from the rest of my family, I'm home alone right now, but for me and from the rest of my family, this is Larry giving a shout out, sort of a very Merry Christmas to all of you out there watching this on YouTube. And I would hope that you take a second, you know, if I've offended anybody, I apologize, but make sure to, you know, leave your comments below in the comments section, and I know somewhere down there is a like and subscribe button, so do that. And I think at the top somewhere in the corner here there's a share button, so you can share this on Facebook with all your friends and whatnot and help me get some more followers. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. I don't know if there'll be snow, but hey, I'm gonna have a beer.